Have you ever felt that God was trying to talk to you, but you just couldn't hear? Have you ever had a feeling that there was a voice whispering in your ear, trying to guide you, but the noise of the world, the concerns, the financial problems, the toxic relationships were screaming louder? Perhaps you are right now living a life that is not the one that God has planned for you. You may be stuck in scarcity, pain, destructive relationships, addictions that drain your energy, because you have stopped hearing the voice that can free you from it all. If you feel that your life is stagnant, that your prayers are not answered, that you are walking in circles in the desert of life without finding the promised land that God has separated for you, then you need to hear every word of this psalm, because today we will find out why God sometimes seems silent and how you can break this silence that is preventing your prosperity and peace. If you recognize that you need to reconnect with the voice of God, if you want this message to be the turning point in your spiritual and financial life, then demonstrate your faith by signing up on this channel right now and leaving your like in this video. This is not an empty gesture. It is a prophetic statement that you are willing to listen and obey what God has to talk to you today. Subscribe and enable notifications, because the next words may be the watershed you were expecting. Psalm 81 begins with an explosive call of joy and celebration. Sing happy to God, our strength. Jubilate to the God of Jacob. But do not be fooled by the apparent simplicity of these words. This is not a casual invitation to a superficial religious moment. This is a divine command for you to recognize that God is your true strength, the source of all the power you need to transform your current reality. When you sing to God, when you jubilate before Him, you are literally activating spiritual frequencies that move mountains, which open closed doors, that release features that were blocked. The word strength here in the Hebrew original is Oz, which means not only physical power, but fortress, security, safe haven. This means that while you are seeking strength in the wrong places, money, relationships, human recognition, alcohol, drugs, temporary pleasures, God is offering an inexhaustible source of real power that can sustain you through any storm. But you only access this strength when trying to solve everything alone, and recognize that it is your true source. Verse 3 continues, "Sing the psalm and touch the tumor, the gentle harp and the psalter." God is not just asking for a silent prayer or positive thinking. He is ordering noisy celebration, audible expression of faith, physical manifestation of His belief. Because when you celebrate before victory comes, when you praise in the middle of the crisis, when you declare God's kindness while your bank account is in red, you are exercising a faith that forces the sky to move toward you. But then the psalm takes an intense prophetic direction. In verse 4, God says, "For this is a statute for Israel, and a law of the God of Jacob." This means that what He is about to reveal is not a suggestion or an optional advice. It is a spiritual law, a divine decree that works regardless of whether you believe or not. It's like the law of gravity. You can choose not to believe her, but it will continue to work and affect your life anyway. From verse 5, God begins to recall His historical fidelity. This put witness to Joseph when he left the land of Egypt, where he heard a language he did not know. God is saying that He has a proven history of releasing people from impossible situations, of taking their chosen from places of slavery and oppression, even when they did not know the language of freedom, even when they did not know how to escape. If you feel stuck today in toxic relationships, in jobs that drain your soul, in vices that control your life, in debt that seem unnecessary, know that this same God who released Joseph from prison and Egypt has power to free you now. In verse 6 comes the promise of relief. "I took off their shoulders from the load, His hands were free from the baskets." This is a powerful image of economic and emotional liberation. God is saying that He can remove the heavy loads you are carrying, be the weight of excessive responsibilities, financial concerns, past trauma, unreal expectations that others have put on you. His hands, which were busy carrying problem baskets, can be released to receive the blessings He wants to pour over his life. Verse 7 reveals the impressive about how God responds to our crises. "In the anguish you have claimed, and I delivered you. I answered you in the hidden place of thunder. I tasted you by the waters of Meribah." When you were at your most desperate moment, when you shouted for help in the back of your room, when you cried tears that no one saw, God was present. He responded from the hidden place of thunder, which represents divine power operating in dimensions invisible to human eyes. Even when you have not seen immediate evidence, even when it seemed that your prayers disappeared in the emptiness, God was working behind the scenes of your story. But then comes the most confronting part of the psalm. From verse 8, God changes the tone. "Hear, my people, and I will protest you. O Israel, if you want to hear." The word protesting here means solely warning, making an urgent warning. God is saying that there is something crucial you need to understand, something that can determine if you will continue to suffer or if you will finally enter the prosperity He has prepared for you. Verse 9 brings a direct order. There will be no strange God, nor will you include you before the God of others. This goes far beyond the obvious religious idolatry. God is talking about all the things you put in His place as a source of security, hope, and identity. It may be money, which you desperately seek thinking that it will solve all your problems. It can be a relationship where you deposit all your happiness in someone else's acceptance. It can be your career, your physical appearance, your social reputation, or even your own efforts and intelligence. Anything you seek first before seeking God becomes a strange God that blocks the flow of divine blessings toward you. In verse 10 comes one of the most powerful promises of the Bible. "I am the Lord your God, who made you climb from the earth of Egypt. Your mouth opens well, and I will fill it." This is a guarantee of supernatural provision. God is saying that if you open your mouth with expectation, with faith, boldness to ask for great things, He has unlimited resources to fill all your legitimate needs and desires. The problem is not the lack of resources in the kingdom of God. The problem is that you are asking for too small, waiting too little, limiting God with your mentality of scarcity. But here comes the most painful revelation of the whole psalm. In 11 and 12 verses, God exposes the root of the whole problem. "But my people did not want to hear my voice, and Israel did not want me. So I gave them to the harshness of their hearts. They walked to their own counsels." This is the divine explanation for all frustration, all stagnation, all the unnecessary struggle you have faced. It is not that God does not want to bless you. It's just that you don't want to hear it. It's not that He doesn't have prosperous plans for you. You prefer to follow your own advice, your own strategies, your own limited wisdom. When God says He has given the people to the hardness of their hearts, He is revealing that there is a spiritual state where you become unable to perceive the opportunities that He puts in front of Him, unable to recognize the doors He opens, unable to hear the direction He whispers in His Spirit. You get stuck in a cycle of making decisions based solely on what your physical eyes can see, what your carnal mind can understand, and therefore continues to stumble into the same obstacles, making the same mistakes, reaping the same frustrating results. But from the verse 13, God reveals your heartbroken heart for you. "Oxal, my people, hear me. Oxalah, Israel, walk in my ways." This is the voice of a loving father who sees your child suffering unnecessarily, who has all the resources to solve the problems, but needs you to stop resisting your help. God is literally begging you to listen to you, that you can trust Him, that you allow Him to transform your story. And then comes the most explosive promise of the whole psalm. "In a short time I would subdue your enemies and make my hand against your opponents." God is saying that if you decide today to hear your voice, if you choose today to walk in His ways instead of His own ways, He can quickly solve all the problems that have plagued you, those hidden enemies that plotted against you, those people who were blocking your opportunities, those situations that seemed impossible. All can be transformed in a short time when you align your life with divine will. The 15th verse promises even more. "Those who hate the Lord would have pretended to obedience, and their time would last forever." This means that when you are truly aligned with God, even your enemies will be forced to respect you, to pretend cordiality, to stop attacking you openly. Divine protection becomes so evident in your life that those who wanted to harm you are intimidated by God's presence over you. And the psalm ends with one of the most delicious promises of all Scripture. "And I would support them with the finest wheat, and with honey from the rock would be bound them." This is not a promise of basic survival. This is a guarantee of abundance, prosperity, complete satisfaction. The thinner wheat represents the best that earth can produce, superior quality resources, premium opportunities that only God can provide. and the honey of the rock is a symbol of unexpected sweetness coming from impossible places, blessings arising from situations that seemed sterile, prosperity sprouting from seemingly hopeless scenarios. But all this depends on a single decision of yours. Will you continue following your own advice, relying only on your own limited wisdom, or will finally surrender to the voice of God and allow Him to take control of His story? Will you continue carrying heavy baskets of worry and anxiety, or will allow it to take this load from your shoulders? Will you continue with your mouth closed to the things of God, or will you open it so that He fills her with blessings that you can't even imagine? The choice is yours, but know that every day you advance this decision is a day further from the abundant life that God has already prepared for you. If this word awakened something deep in your spirit, if you felt that God was talking directly to your situation through this psalm, demonstrate your gratitude and your faith, leaving your like in this video and subscribing to the channel so as not to lose the next revelations that can continue to transform your life. And I really want to know about you. How is your financial health right now? How is the situation of your family? Is it hard to pay the bills? Is job opportunities lacking? Are you facing relationship or health problems? Share with me in the comments, because I want you to know that you are not alone on this journey. We are all walking together towards a better life, and when one thrives, we all thrive. May God open His ears to hear His voice clearly, and that His mouth is full of the sweeter blessings He has to offer.